we're going to make Greek meatballs today. So, the ingredients are 1 pound ground beef or lamb, but for this we're going to use ground beef, 2 eggs, 1 tablespoon parsley, 1/2 teaspoon salt, 1/8 teaspoon paprika, 1/8 teaspoon nutmeg, 1 tablespoon lemon juice, onion salt or chopped onions, but for this one we're going to use chopped onions, pepper, and garlic to taste. Our first thing we're going to do is we're going to wash our hands because that is very important to keep our food nice and clean. So here we go. So what is the first thing we need to do?
Well, the first thing we need to do is make the meatballs. So I have ground beef, and it's good to choose ground beef that has some fat content in it because that adds taste and texture. So we're going to put the ground beef in the bowl.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you, Jasmine,
Okay.
you can add the onion that's been chopped.
Okay, just pour it all in there?
Just put it all in there and crack the egg in there as well. And the really yummy thing about Greek meatballs are the spices.
Spices. Now what type of spices would you use?
In Greek meatballs I use ground nutmeg, also some paprika, and I'm going to put in a little commercial plug for Penzi Spices because they are awesome. And there's a little store in Chestnut Hill where you can go in and purchase all different sizes, and they have them also in bulk, and you can smell them, and it's just a really nice experience. You don't need much, so go ahead and just sprinkle a little bit.
All right.
Now my secret ingredient to really soft and flavorful meatballs is to add a little bit of oatmeal.
Oatmeal? Never thought of that.
The reason is that oatmeal absorbs the liquid and it gives a soft texture to the meatballs.
Right.
So let me pour in. That should be plenty.
Now do you usually just pour it in, or do you sometimes measure it, or is it just a wing it thing?
Well, I've been cooking for so long that I'm one of those people who just kind of adds it because I've done it so many times.
You just know how much to
But that's
put
probably a quarter of a cup.
Okay. All right.
Then, the real secret ingredient to really tasty Greek food is it usually always has a gentle lemon flavor. So I'm going to ask you to cut the lemon.
Okay.
Get your hands in there
Oh,
and mix it all together.
All right. It's so cold and mushy.
Great. Okay. Do you want to make up a few meatballs so we can just put them in here?
Okay.
All right. In this pot, we're going to cook rice pilaf.
Okay.
We're going to turn on, let the butter melt, add a small amount of orzo. Orzo looks like rice, but it isn't. It's a pasta.
Really?
And I brown the orzo in the butter. Once that gets really brown, we'll add the rice. Let that absorb the rest of the butter. And then for every amount of rice you use twice as much water.
Okay.
So for half a cup of rice, I'll use a cup of water.
Okay.
I usually cook a full cup of rice and I add 2 cups of water.
Okay, are we going to stir this one?
Yep, stir it up just a little bit. It comes to a boil,
Okay.
and then we'll put the lid on it and let it cook for about 40 minutes.
Okay.
That should give us enough time to have the meatballs brown to make up the gravy.
Okay.
Oh, and the rice is ready.
Oh. Okay, here's the rice.
like my mom just made this, and I'm like at home watching a movie. And this is so good.
It's comfort food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Like, this is so much different from the way my mom makes meatballs. Her meatballs are usually really heavy, like you said, because she puts the breadcrumbs in it. This is really light. It's not as like when I feel like when I'm finished eating this, I'm not gonna want to just go lay down or just go fall asleep. It's really good. Mmm.